Good afternoon, good morning, y'all. How y'all doing?
Good, thank you.
Hi,
All right.
Reggie.
Hello.
Hi, Afro.
Wel-
Hello.
Welcome to this week's episode of Faith, Lies, and Confusion. This week's episode is called The Canaanite Mythology, Yahweh and the Religion of Ancient Canaan. As always, I have a few friends with me to help out and add their input on the topic. We have the Afro Atheist, aka the Apostle of Atheism. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you very much. Lovely weather today. I'm having a great time. I've been to the gym as well because
That's what I need to do.
yeah, I need to keep fit. And also, for some reason, I get a lot of people when they come for me in the comments. They're not happy about what I post. The very first thing they say is, "Ah, you should lose some weight," and I'm like, "Why don't you address the topic?" It's crazy.
Christians, and Muslims.
Mhm.
Also, also we have Vessel of Dishonor. How are you today?
Hello. I'm well, thank you. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you both here. Well, let's get right to it. This week I tried to cite several sources to go over the topic, so I'm gonna show a few. I got a couple YouTube videos, and I also used chatbots this time. So let's see what I can pull up. Is it big enough or too small or what?
Might want to make it slightly bigger.
Okay, is that cool?
Then that's perfect.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with the Canaanite pantheon. The Canaanite pantheon, central to the religious life of the ancient Canaanites, comprised a wide array of gods and goddesses who were worshipped across the Levant, including what is now modern day Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, and parts of Syria and Jordan. This pantheon was integral to the religious, cultural, and social life of the Canaanite people. Here are some of the key deities in the Canaanite pantheon. My favorite is El. His role is the supreme God, father of all gods and men. His attributes are El was the head of the pantheon, often depicted as the elderly figure with wisdom and authority. He was considered the creator and father of humanity and other gods. Ashera, her role was the mother goddess, consort to El. Her attributes often referred to as the queen of heaven. Ashur was associated with fertility, motherhood, and the sea. Sounds like my favorite deity, Mami Wata. She was worshipped.
Who told you about Mami Water?
I don't know, but she's been in my mind ever since. She was
Oh my
Oh,
worshipped as a
goodness,
nurturing figure.
Reggie.
It was sometimes depicted
You don't want
alongside.
to mess with mommy water. You do not want to mess
Reggie,
with mommy water, honestly.
Reggie, be careful. You don't get a Mami Water. If you get a
Mm-mm.
Mami Water, that
Don't
would be the downfall of you.
take me away. I've seen it all anyway. Come get me.
Reggie, you don't want mommy water, trust me.
Yes, I do.
Mm-mm.
Come over here and fuck up my life.
He wants a Mami Water.
Please fuck up my life.
Can you imagine? See those words that you've just said, Reggie? That is not words that you will hear from a Nigerian Christian man. Those are not the kind of words you would
Never.
hear him say, "Mami Water, come and take me." Ah,
Eh.
Listen, he won't say it in front of y'all, but if it's just men around, he will.
No, he
No,
won't.
he wouldn't. Mm-mm. He wouldn't. He wouldn't.
And you know, Mommy Water is depicted as a beautiful, gorgeous,
Light skin.
feminine,
Light skin.
light skin. Usually, or, do you know there's some people that actually don't date light skinned women because they think
Yes, because
Mommy Water.
yes, they tell you to stay away from light skinned women.
Yeah,
She might be a mommy
that's it.
water.
I ain't never heard that.
Especially if she's got red nails and red lipstick.
Ooh. Mm.
That is craziness.
It's, there's a lot of superstition around it, and it doesn't
Mhm,
make sense.
mhm.
No, it doesn't because it's
I've
something
been
like
called a Mommy Water before
Have
because
you?
I'm light skinned. Yeah.
I haven't been called one. I don't know. I don't remember being called. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because I get questions like, "Are you single? Are you sure you're single? How can you be single when you're this gorgeous?" Eh, mommy, what's that? And I'm like, eh, I'm not.
Mm.
I don't fall under that category, sir.
Reggie, why did you take down the size?
oh, hold on. I don't know what I'm doing. Give me a second. Okay. So the third person in the Canaanite pantheon that is mentioned is Baal. His role is the storm god, god of rain, fertility, and agriculture. His attributes are Baal was one of the most prominent gods in the Canaanite pantheon. He was often depicted as a warrior with a thunderbolt, symbolizing his control over storms and rain, crucial for agriculture. Baal was also associated with fertility and life cycles. He sounds like a mix between Zeus and what's the other one in Greek mythology?
Neptune.
Yeah, Neptune.
Is it
Fourth,
Neptune?
no, what's his fucking name? Poseidon. That's what he
Yes,
sounds like to me.
Ah,
yes.
Poseidon.
Yeah, like a remix between those two. Damn, I
Hmm.
keep messing it up. Mot is fifth. His role is god of death in the underworld. His attributes are most was Mot was a powerful deity representing death and the underworld. He was often depicted as a menacing figure, embodying the destructive and inevitable aspects of life. I would think that in those days they would have probably looked at him as the devil, maybe. What y'all think?
Who Mot,
Hmm.
the god of death and the underworld. Okay, so maybe when people die, mysterious circumstances, they might attribute it to Mot.
I don't know. This is the first time I've heard of him. I've heard of the rest of them, but I
Same,
haven't heard.
same here. This is the first time I'm hearing of Mot. Well, it spells MOT to me. Maybe that's where they get the MOTs from.
Yeah, I don't know. So,
Ah,
Did you do number 4?
yam, Anat.
yeah,
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Yam number six,
Yam,
the god of the sea.
Ah,
yam. Reggie, make it
and
bigger, please.
there's
Yam,
Yam Festival in August, isn't there?
hey,
Wow, amazing.
yam is the god of the sea.
That don't sound right.
I know. Yam. Hmm.
Yam was the personification of the chaotic and unpredictable nature of the sea. In myth, he was often portrayed as a rival to Baal, representing the forces of chaos and destruction.
Oh wow.
Shapos,
You ever
or the
eaten yam before?
yes, different kinds too.
Pounded yam, roasted yam,
Mm-hmm.
fried yam. Oh my
Mm.
goodness.
Fried yam. I think that's my favorite.
Yam chips. Yep. Mm-mm.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
I had my favorite yams that I tasted are the ones I tasted when I was in Jamaica. They had about six different kinds, so I'm not going to try to stumble through the names of the different ones. But I
Mm-hmm.
had never had yams before that. I thought I had yams before that, but the species that we have here is not. It's not the
It's
same
a
thing.
difference.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's closer to a sweet potato. What we have here.
Mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm.
yams they have there are not the same thing at all. So it was very good. I wish I could have brought some back with me actually.
That means you really enjoyed it. Was it white? Was because there's the one what's white, and that's my favorite one, white
Hmm.
and with the brown outer layer.
Yeah,
It
they were
was
closer
lovely.
to like potatoes, but yeah, they were white.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps if you went to like a Caribbean supermarket, you might find some.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah, yeah. Or African store,
Hmm.
African.
where I live at, I would probably have to go to like Cleveland or Pittsburgh for that because it's not really a big population, either one, Africans or Jamaicans here. But in those
All right.
cities, there is Columbus, Ohio. There's a real big population of both as well, but not exactly where I live at.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Shapash was the sun goddess. Shapash was associated with the sun and the light. This is the first time I ever heard the sun referred to as a woman. She was
Hmm.
considered both a life giving and death bringing deity, often linked with both day and night. Rapash, well, I'm not even, Reshef,
Reshef.
god of plague and healing, well, plague and healing.
Mm.
Reshef
What?
was a Reshef was a god associated with plague, war, and healing. He was often depicted with a bow and arrow, symbolizing his ability to send or cure disease. That sounds like God.
Do you know what picture comes into your mind? You know that little Valentine
Ah,
cherub?
yes. The cherub.
Yes,
The cherub. Oh, okay.
with the arrows.
Bow and arrow to send or cure disease. So this Reshef just can choose to either send the disease or remove the disease. I mean, wow.
I suppose to get the disease removed, you'd have to give a sacrifice, maybe sacrifice a
Mm-mm,
chicken
mm-mm.
or a goat. And then here comes Shapash. She will just hide behind the clouds. And then you've got to give a sacrifice for her to show herself. And then, oh my goodness, I
I
can't
think that,
do
I mean, I'm not religious or anything like that, obviously, but I'm starting to feel like having one or two gods or a trinity is better than this shit. I wouldn't even be able to remember all these motherfuckers' names. For real, for real.
Oh, Reggie, if you're in it, you will remember. Trust me,
Yes, yes. Can you imagine
you
being born
will. It
into
will be
this
drilled into you.
belief system? It will
Mm,
become part of your everyday life. As soon as something happens, you already know which God you attribute it to. It will
yes,
become um, next to next to nothing. You just
like
get that.
breathing. And then
Yeah.
you'd have the different temples. So you'd know that on a Monday you're going to the temple of Shapash. And then on a Wednesday you're going to the temple of Rapash. And you're going to go
Hmm.
and give your sacrifices. Oh, man, oh, man.
That's a lot to remember. I can't be smoking weed and remember that shit. Fuck that.
I'm sure there's a god of weed somewhere.
It gotta be. I need him right now. I'm gonna play a video that I
Oh, you
found
haven't got
on.
any weed, Reggie?
Oh yeah. I got some, but I want some God weed right now. Let's
Some
see. I'm gonna
God
play.
weed. Is that
Uh huh.
different?
I don't know. It sounds good though.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm about to play a video that I found here on YouTube as well.
Hey, get walk. I think get walk is in the chat. Hi.
Why
Is this too loud?
No, no. I
no?
mean, that's just a video.
This is the Bible's explanation for the name Yahweh. There are certain important and unique features of this burning bush dialogue. First, God identifies himself to Moses as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He reveals to Moses a new name, Yahweh, so that Yahwism and the Yahweh cult can be said to begin only with Moses. Exodus 6, verses 2 to 4, very important passage. Exodus 6, verses 2 to 4. And here God says, I am Yahweh. I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as El Shaddai, but I did not make myself known to them by my name, Yahweh.
וארא אל אברהם, אל יצחק ואל יעקב באל שדי, ושמי אדוני לא נודעתי להם.
Now, this contradicts the J source. And many scholars have suggested that P and E preserve a memory of a time when Israel worshipped the Canaanite god El. P and E wish to claim that the God who covenanted with the patriarchs is the God of the Exodus, but now with a new name. God is 6 times called El Shaddai. Other names are El Elyon, El Olam, El Roi, El Bethel. You can see translations of these. The everlasting God, God Most High, a God of seeing, the God of the house of God, and so on. El is the name of the chief god in the Canaanite pantheon. It's an important set of texts that were discovered at a place called Ras Shamra. Ras Shamra was ancient Ugarit. In 1928, a peasant in Syria discovered a tomb at Ras Shamra, which was subsequently excavated by the French, and it was found to contain a library of tablets that were written in a language very, very close to Biblical Hebrew. It's clear that Hebrew is simply a Canaanite dialect. In fact, I remember reading one scholar said, if you go back far enough, you're really hard-pressed to tell the difference between Canaanite and Hebrew. And in these texts, we read of the exploits of the gods of Canaanite religion. These gods include the sky god El, I've listed here, the father of the various gods and humans. El has a wife, Asherah, she's listed 3rd on your paper, a mother goddess, their daughter, Anat, who is a goddess of love and war, she's quite fierce, and then their son Baal, who is a storm god. He's depicted in mythological literature as defeating both the chaotic sea god, the sea god Yam, and the god of death, Mot. There are striking resemblances between the biblical God of the patriarchs and the Canaanite god El. El is the head of a council of gods. He is said to have a long white beard. He dwells on a mountain top in a tent. His epithets include father of all creatures, bull, king. He's also described as the protector of patriarchs, patriarchal figures, a god of the father of the clan, it says in the texts. He guides them, he protects them, he promises them descendants. Many biblical passages depict God exactly this way, as the head of a council of divine beings. He's occasionally described with some of the epithets that are associated with El. He's referred to as the father of all creatures. There are poetic passages in which he is referred to as bull, also certainly as king. And in the patriarchal narratives, God refers to himself as the God of the Father. I am the God of the Father, the same way El is referred to. He guides and protects the patriarchs. He makes promises of progeny to Abraham and his heirs. He also is associated with a mountaintop, Sinai, and gives instructions for the building of a tabernacle.
I feel like, from based off what she said, that it's undeniable that the term El Shaddai, Elohim, all that shit clearly had to have come from the Canaanites. Whether, if you believe it's mythology or not, is a different subject, but it's undeniable that it came from them. Also, who believes in all these different gods? And at what point did they all just become one? That's my question.
And that's a good question. And this goes to
Yeah.
show that the character we all call God had to have an origin. It had to have come from somewhere. And they try to make you think, oh, there's this God that he was just there. He doesn't have a beginning, doesn't have an end. It's a lie, right? He's got an origin. And it's interesting to see that he was one of many gods, and he wasn't even the main one.
Wasn't no. I think when people moving around, but I don't think they moved around the people in that area because it mentions Syria and another place as well. So this is probably culture as well.
Mm-hmm. Might be that too.
And it just got adopted by the people that decided to document it.
Right.
But if you see the video says the stolen Canaanite god of Hebrews Israelites. That's the El Baal. So
Asherah.
it looks like the people stole these gods from that pantheon.
Oh
They
yes,
stole, they did some
and they
very
only
heavy
stole these
lifting.
three.
Hmm?
They only stole these three.
No, they didn't steal Asherah
Of course,
She
because
because
mentioned in the Bible. She said in the Bible as
Asherah,
the mother god.
Asherah is in the Bible.
Hold on. There's
Asherah
something about a mother goddess or something like that in the Bible.
in
The
is
moon god.
in the Bible.
I'm sorry. I'm
Let's
hold
see.
on. Let me check it out. Let me check it out. I'm getting confused.
As a goddess. Oh,
I give you a second to look for that.
yep, I've got it here. So it says that Asherah in the Bible, in the Iron Age text of First Kings 18:19, states that Asherah had prophets in Tyre, just as the Canaanite god Baal had prophets. Additionally, 2 Kings 23:6 declares that the priests of Solomon's temple brought out all the objects made for Baal and Asherah and all the hosts of heaven. Hmm.
There
They
you
brought
go.
out, wow,
I
they
knew I'd
brought
read
out
it somewhere.
all the objects made for Baal and Ash, all the objects made for Baal and Asherah and all the host of heavens. Wow, that must be.
Right, but you know what a Christian gonna say, right?
Hmm.
Those are idol worship idols.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
That's what they're gonna
Here
While
say.
we
ignoring
go.
Yahweh.
Here we go.
Right, all of them idols except for Yahweh. Exactly,
While
exactly.
ignoring Yahweh, because Yahweh was one of the idols.
But see,
No,
this
well,
is what I don't understand, right? If I could show you like how we're demonstrating right here that these
mm-hmm,
people are clearly myths, right? And these people never existed, and the Christians are saying that they never existed, right? But
mm-hmm.
they still go out their way to mention these people in your Bible, right? So what makes you think that your Bible is not a fucking myth? I don't understand that.
But these gods aren't real people. They're just uh, deities, right? That people believe in, and so um, the same way they would say that these are idols, the exact same way that we can equally say, your God happens to be one of them. If these are idols, your God is one of the idols. In fact, I think that their God is the worst idol of them all, in my opinion.
That's what some people that follow Judaism say about them. They say that Christians are all idol worshippers, and
Mm,
technically, by worshiping the cross, you are idol worshiper.
hmm. Wow. I mean, so I heard somebody, these were Muslims, and I heard them saying, and I think that would be a good video to review for both of you. I heard them saying that, so one of them was asked a question, being LGBTQ or worshiping the God of Christians, right? A Christian or being a Christian. And the person said LGBTQ is better than Christianity. And I just, what? Muslims, yeah. And the guy, he gave reasons. He said, look, that for him, worshipping another God, worshipping, what was it he was saying? Because in the Muslims believe that Christians they worship a man, right? So that Jesus character is a man, and you should not worship that man. And so, yeah, he says he would rather that than The LGBTQ.
I don't make no sense. I mean, even to ask, I wouldn't even answer that question if I was him. I would be like, man, I'm not
Exactly.
even getting in that. But they worship that man too. They believe that man existed too, and they also believe in Muhammad. So that don't make any sense.
Mm.
A tent-like structure in which he will dwell. Many personal and place names in the patriarchal narratives are compounds in which one element is El. Yisrael, Yishmael, Beth El. El is the God of the patriarchs. By contrast, after the time of Moses, Israelite names start to be formed using Yah or Yahu as part of the name Yahweh. Elijah in Hebrew is Eliyahu. So you start to have theophorics, names that use the name of a deity, which are using forms of Yahu instead of El.
Yahoo!
I ain't gonna lie. That was the best part of the video.
Wait, hold on, stop, wait, hold on.
Yahoo!
Wait. Look at this. Are you sure you know whose God you're worshiping?
Hey,
Wow,
mm, my chest.
wow.
It chokes.
No, this one choco. That's people
Afro,
that want to worship gods. You know,
Afro, we need
even
this. Take this, Afro. We need this. We need to discuss this.
the screenshots. Yes, we do. Even what's his name in Islam, right? Apparently, before Muhammad received his prophecy and all these things, the people there had many gods. They said over 300 worshipped in the temple, right? In that Kaaba thing that they go around.
Really?
Yeah, and when the prophet got there, he destroyed some of those gods, but he took a couple with him. He took them with him to his house. There are names of this. I've heard Bola talk about this. There are two of them, Alat, and Alat, and something else. Two female ones. Two female. So
Female ones as
that's
well.
something I've heard along those lines. They had different gods, 300 and something.
But do you remember Abraham grew up worshipping other gods. His father had an altar to these other gods.
Hmm.
It's only after he met, I don't know what to call his name now. He's got so many names, this god. That's when he went and destroyed his father's gods. So it's really strange that Christians tend to forget that part when they're talking about how divine their God is. When they say that God is the only God in existence, yet Abraham had different gods he was worshipping.
On
Hmm.
top of the fact that he's telling you not to worship any other god.
But
Exactly.
why would you say to not worship any other gods if you were the only God?
Right.
Huh? If you were the only God, why would you be saying that do not worship other gods except me? Hmm.
Right. He would have been better off saying there's no other god for you to worship, so only worship me.
Mm-mm-mm.
So let me get back to
So wait, see
Yahweh.
if I can remember any names. Mot, Yam, Ashura, um,
Shapash.
Shapash, Ashbash, something like that. I don't know.
Shapash.
Shapesh, Shapash, and
Resha.
Asher, Russia.
I only know Baal and Asherah
Oh, there's
and
Baal.
Yam
Baal is one of them.
and
Yes.
Yam.
Let's see if I can make it
Gerwog
big.
says, I thought with the hadith, the sunnah, the treatment of and the prayers, including Muhammad, it always struck me that Muhammad, he was being worshipped as well. It seemed like he was a bit of a replacement for Jesus, but human and a lost prophet. Hmm. Might be onto something there.
There's a couple more. Kutar Wa Cassis, god of craftsmanship and wisdom. I'm not about to stumble through his name no more. Was the divine craftsman responsible for creating weapons and other items for the gods? He was associated with skills, wisdom, and technology. It seems like to me several of these are like overlapping gods to me.
Mm, 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 mm,
Dagon, god
mm.
of agriculture and the earth. I swear we said agriculture earlier. Dagon was a god of grain and agriculture, symbolizing the fertility of the land. He was often depicted with elements of fish, as his worship may have had origins related to fishing communities. The mythology of the Canaanite gods often involved themes of creation, destruction, and renewal, reflecting the natural cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Stories of conflict, such as those between Baal and Yam, symbolize the struggle between order and chaos. Let's get back to Yahweh. Yahweh is a central figure in the religious traditions of the Israelites, later becoming the singular and supreme deity in Judaism and subsequently in Christianity and Islam. The understanding and worship of Yahweh evolved over time, particularly in the context of the ancient Near East and surrounding Canaanite religious landscapes. Early worship and connection to the Canaanite religion. Yahweh's origins are somewhat obscure, but there is evidence to suggest that Yahweh may have originally been a deity associated with the region of the southern Levant, possibly linked to the Edomite or Medi-Annanite traditions. In early Israelite religion, Yahweh was possibly one of many gods, potentially beginning as a local deity who gradually became the chief god of the Israelite tribes. This period is often referred to as Yahwism. Integrity with the Israelite pantheon. In the early stages, Yahweh was likely worshipped alongside other gods like El, Asherah, and Baal, reflecting a henotheistic or monolatros, I can't pronounce that, belief system where Yahweh was the primary God of the Israelites, but not necessarily the only God. Over time, Yahweh began to absorb the characteristics and roles of other deities, particularly El, the chief god of the Canaanite pantheon. Yah was eventually came to be seen as the supreme deity, incorporating aspects of El as the God of Israel. I'm tired of reading for a little bit. So, pretty much, he started off as a lesser god. I've read that in several different articles, and eventually, over time, he became the supreme god.
So how did he go from being one of those to now being the main one? What happened? I'm trying to figure this out.
Well, I got a video that kind of explains it. It's a little long.
Okay,
Let's see.
okay. So wait, you know what? Can you go back to Yahweh? I want to see the attributes of Yahweh. Hey Andre, the attributes of Yahweh. Let's see. I'm curious to see what he no. Right. The key characteristics of Yahweh. Okay. That's
Is that bigger right there?
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Want me to read it or?
No, go back up. Go back up, please. I saw something about
I
Yahweh
saw
was no.
something.
Keep going,
I
keep
saw
going.
something.
Right here, here, here. Stop.
Yeah.
So Yahweh in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So Yahweh is the personal name of God revealed to Moses. He's understood as a singular, transcendent, and eternal God who created the universe and chose Israel as his people. In Christianity, Yahweh is equated with the God of the Old Testament, with the New Testament introducing the concept of the Trinity, where Yahweh is identified as God the Father, alongside Jesus the Son and the Holy Spirit. While the name Yahweh is not used in Islam, the God of Islam, Allah, is understood to be the same deity worshipped by the Israelites and Christians, reflecting the monotheistic tradition that originated with the worship of Yahweh. Okay.
Wow. So it's basically Moses that started this shit.
No. Mm-mm.
Because it says it was Moses introduced, or it was revealed to Moses.
They attribute it to Moses. Remember, Moses may not have existed at all. So I mean, I see the need for a Moses. I see his role
The need for a
in
hero.
this myth, right?
Hmm.
I see his role, very important role. I mean, Moses had wrote the first five books, delivered the people out of slavery,
Hold on, Reggie.
in
Please
his
go
hero
back up.
story.
Which way? This way?
So
I saw, yeah, I saw something. Oh
yes,
no, no, go back. No, go back. Yep, keep going. Uh,
Bewok, you've got it. That's it. Al Alat and Al Manat and Al Uz. These were the gods that Muhammad took from the
did you see them there, Afro?
huh? Which one?
Did you see them on the list?
No, Gewok has put it in the comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Reggie is gone. I saw something that was
you might need
just.
to send it to us afterwards. This could be a really good bedtime read.
Um,
Looking for
yeah,
something to
you
read.
can
And
go back down, but slowly, please.
Reggie, please send this to us, yeah?
Okay.
Do you know something, Reggie
Huh?
and Vessel and everyone else? How is it that we know more as atheists about the religion, its origins, and where these religions would have come from? Many of the things that we're starting to find out and to figure out, this is the question for both of you. Do you think if we were still Christians, any of this we would have been somehow introduced? Do you think we would have had access to any of this, or we would have? No, that's not the question. Okay, do you think we would have been willing to find out about these myths, or do you think we would have been rejecting it? Oh no, 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 it's not my God. And so, what do you think?
We would not even have dared.
No.
Oh,
Hmm.
oh, it's gone. It's somewhere there. I mean, I'll search it when you send it to me. But I saw something that caught my eye.
Mm.
What was it about? I might could find it.
I don't remember, but I just saw it and my eyes went really wide, and then it's gone.
No,
Um,
the one that caught my eye was Moses.
yeah, it was after the Moses.
After Moses.
Um, I'm going
So,
too
hey,
fast.
Pandemus, yes, Pandemus, they don't study, but if you study Pandemus, you will leave the religion. People say, I read the Bible, it made me an atheist.
I think this
So,
part is important too. But go ahead.
sorry,
No, go ahead.
go
I
on,
was
go
Yeah,
just
on,
saying.
Reggie, go on, go on.
No, go ahead. Say what you're saying. I just think that this part is important.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was saying, when you take your time and read the books, read the Quran, read the Bible, listen, for me, when I read the Quran, there is something that book does to me. I've not read it from cover to cover, but the bits that I've read, it makes me think this God is number one. He is very insecure, very insecure, and secondly, he just wants violence. He just wants people to fight. The book talks about, and he segregates and separates division. That is his specialty. It's about us and them. You see them over there, and that kind of God, I cannot. Not for me. No,
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 so cruel. He's so cruel in Islam.
no. But
Right.
think about this. Think about this. So this is God has created all of us, and I'm talking about the gods now, not just Allah, not just because even Yahweh, he's the same. So the idea is that the God created us, so we are God's creation, right? And now the God is saying, anyone who doesn't agree with the belief that the belief in me, go and fight them. So this God wants to sit there and watch us fight each other, like
Over him.
over him. And you say that's not narcissism? Not narcissism. Huh? That's not narcissistic?
It makes no sense. I ain't about to be fighting over no motherfucker I can't see.
Hmm?
I said I ain't about to be fighting over nobody, especially if I can't see them. Ain't worth it.
But you know, some people will, Reggie. Some people will do it in a heartbeat. They will do it. In fact, I was watching a video yesterday about people that go and fight jihad. They tell their wives, I'm going to go and fight jihad, and you will never see me again. We will meet on the other side in Jahannam. The wife is the one that helps him pack his tools and his things, right? And they wish each other goodbye until they see again. A
But look,
wife is supposed to encourage her husband if she's not to question him. Why are you fighting jihad?
you would listen if you've been a hostage that whole time. Like one of the Muslim wives, shit, you'd be happy as hell for his ass to leave. Like, all right, I've been ready to get rid of your ass anyway. Go out there, get killed in the name of Allah, and while you gone, whoever stay, we fucking
Another
with
man will be there quick because
it.
in Islam they don't believe that women should be single. There's no such thing as single women. As soon as she becomes, her husband is gone, it's a 3 month wait. You wait 3 months. Is the what's that 3 months wait? It's called Ida. Yeah, the Ida process. As soon as the Ida is done, that's it. You're off. Someone else is coming along to take you as their wife.
That's
Hmm.
cool. Wash away all her sins, and she ready.
But he does say here that Allah is, Allah and Yahweh, same.
None of it makes any sense to me. I'm about to play this video real quick. I want y'all to see.
To existence, whatever exists. The word Yahweh evolved into Jehovah in the late Middle Ages. The name Yahweh could also be derived from the Arabic language, potentially indicating a passion or commitment of the deity towards his people, aligning with biblical references to Yahweh as a jealous God. Yahweh's transformation from a local deity of the Midianites into a sole deity of Israelites is mirrored in the evolution of his name, starting as a reflection of a local deity's commitment to his tribe and evolving into a declaration of existence and commitment of the one true God to his chosen people. In Judaism, the name of God was considered too sacred to be spoken, so the consonants YHWH were used as a reminder to say Adonai, Lord, instead. The origins of Yahweh remain obscure with biblical passages differing in their interpretations. After the Babylonian captivity in the 6th century BCE, Yahweh's power was codified and the Hebrew scriptures were canonized during the Second Temple period, including the concept of a Messiah. Yahweh, as the all-powerful creator, preserver, and redeemer of the universe, was later adopted by early Christians who believed that God sent Jesus as the promised Messiah. In Islam, this deity was interpreted as Allah. Now, back in time during the Iron Age, the Israelites in Canaan sought to distinguish themselves from their neighbors by elevating Yahweh above El, the supreme deity. Yahweh's association with the forge, fire, smoke, and smiting made him a suitable deity of storms and war, transforming him from a deity of transformation to one of conquest. Once known for his blessings of fertility and prosperity, El was a highly respected and frequently called upon deity. At the same time, Yahweh was emerging from his origins as an observational god, linked to the wilderness and stormy weather, and becoming a powerful presence within Israel society. The dynamic between El and Yahweh was far from simple, riddled with conflict and integration, and marked with Yahweh taking on roles and traits previously linked to El. Yahweh's right dominance is unquestionable. His transition from a local deity to the sole god of Israelites, a process marked by intricate religious evolution and transformation. This transition is clearly mirrored in early Israeli poetry and narrative literature, which often portrayed Yahweh as a militant figure. His elevated status as a national god was mostly cemented through Israel's wars. During times of peace, the tribes would turn to Baal, the god of fertility. However, in times of conflict, they sought help from Yahweh, the divine warrior, looking for triumph. The depiction of Yahweh as a divine warrior is a recurring theme in the Hebrew scriptures, which also form part of the Christian Old Testament. Even the New Testament borrows from this imagery. In the earliest days of Israel, Yahweh was seen as a storm god of war, a powerful deity tied deep.
So my take is just like any other religion. He took over and transitioned to be the supreme God through war, no different than any other God that there is.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So from this video, it looks like the Israelites were trying to separate themselves from everyone, right? And so they were the ones who elevated Yahweh above the others, the other gods. So because we're trying to be different from all the other people, so we would take one God and make him special. And they were saying when there is peace, they would go to Baal. Baal was the god of fertility when there's peace. But when there is war, they would go to Yahweh. And that makes sense to me because um, if you were to choose of all the gods out there, I mean, if you were to choose one, I'm just thinking back in the day, they would want a god that can fight, a god that can, isn't docile. They want one that will help them win battles. I mean, even though these are just myths, but I think I can understand why they would go for Yahweh. And now let me also say this. I have been told by a couple of Jewish people that it is an insult to call the name Yahweh. They find it offensive when we call that name because for them it's a very revered name. They don't even utter the name at all. They would rather say something else, right? Now, I understand that that makes, they offended when people do that, but we grew up on the Yahweh character. We weren't told that we couldn't mention the name Yahweh. I've gone all my life, well, nearly all my life, right, saying that name. And so when someone comes along and says, "Oh, I find that offensive," because I've had this on TikTok when I'm having conversation. "Oh, can you please not say the name Yahweh?" And I'm thinking, wait, hold on. I don't know. If I stop saying Yahweh, how about all the millions and millions of people that call that name every day? They even have songs dedicated to Yahweh, right? It's just, yeah, there's songs, so hard. This is the thing when a religion is brought to people that are not a part of that community, this is what happens. So I get the offense. I really do. I get the offense. But that is, I don't know. I feel some sort of way because I'm thinking, okay, if that was the case, you should never have brought it to me to begin with, right? You should never have brought it to us to begin with. If Anyway, what are your thoughts around that? It's just how I felt when that person said, "Oh, it is offensive to come." I'm like, I mean,
I mean, I understand it in a way. I'm gonna have to side with the Jewish people, and the reason why I have to side with them on this is because literally what Christians are doing is taking their religion and doing whatever it is that they do with it and calling it whatever they want to call it, and not really knowing or understanding it, and then going back and telling these same people, oh no, it's this, that, and the third, and Jesus did this. So, I mean, maybe it's not anti Semitic, maybe, but it would probably be annoying to me.
it's not anti-Semitic. Because we're not talking about the people. It's not the people you're talking about. It's the God, and all you're doing is just mentioning the name. Anyway. You know what I mean? It's an ongoing conversation, but I'm saying that to say, if a Jewish person finds like an African person and they keep saying Yahweh, Yahweh, you feel uncomfortable about it. It's not our fault. This was the religion that was brought to us,
That's
right?
true.
When you consider the circumstances, this religion was brought, the way it was brought to us. And, we've gone years calling that name, right? And so, unfortunately, yeah, it's just one of them. And Pandemas is right. The person said they would rather I use the name Hashem instead. I said, okay, Hashem, all right. Never heard Hashem before that day. Never. So, mm,
It just proves, like, by him saying that in the comments, and by you saying that, that just proves that we're more and more, not really us because it don't really matter to us. We're not in that lifestyle, but it just proves that Christians are more and more and more less educated about their own religion than anybody else in the world. It's crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
To the elements of nature. This portrayal of Yahweh might have been influenced by the Canaanite religious nearby, which also worshipped storm gods. Given that the people of Israel lived in an area prone to severe weather, it's no surprise they leaned towards a god representing these potent forces. Thus, their worship spread to include gods like Il, Asherah, Baal, Utu Shamash, and of course, Yahweh. When they first settled in Canaan, the people practiced ancestor worship honoring the god of the father or the god of the house along with their human ancestors. However, Yahweh was seen as more than just a storm god. As they interacted with surrounding cultures and their spiritual practices, Yahweh's image changed. He started to be seen as a god of fertility and protection and a dispenser of justice. It's likely that this shift was influenced by Asherah, the Canaanite goddess of fertility who was widely worshipped. Despite Asherah's popularity, her worship sparked major theological arguments. The Israelites, particularly those in the southern kingdom of Judah, were leaning towards monotheism and saw the worship of Asherah as a threat to this emerging belief. The prophets like Elijah strongly opposed the worship of Asherah and other Canaanite gods, leading to violent clashes and the eventual suppression of Asherah's following. Political factors of the era also played a role in shaping Yahweh's worship. The northern kingdom of Israel was richer and more open to syncretism, blending elements from different religions into their worship of Yahweh. This approach faced strong opposition from the southern king of Judah, which was moving towards exclusive Yahweh worship. When the Assyrians destroyed the northern kingdom in 1722 BCE, it marked a critical turning point in Yahweh's worship. Refugees from the north joined the southern kingdom, bringing them their blended religious practices, which likely influenced the evolution of Yahweh's image and the development of unique Israelite religious customs. As the people of Israel built their society in Canaan, they wanted to stand out from their neighbors. This led to them prioritizing Yahweh over El, the traditional Canaanite supreme god. However, they didn't
Same thing again. They just basically trying to disassociate themselves with everybody else and created Yahweh.
I mean, doing this makes me appreciate religion. Well, not. It makes me appreciate how far we've come. That's number one. And number two, now you can see how religions evolve over time. Religions evolve. And this is clearly also, um, another way to, it will sort of give you a look into the future, right? Over time, these gods will start to fizzle out, right? Some gods back in those days, right? We have some depictions of them. A lot of these gods now aren't even being worshipped anymore. Some people might still worship them, maybe not as much, but over time, right? The worship of these gods start to fizzle away. In 100 years from now, I can imagine Jesus and God might just become, the way we talk about Asherah, the way we talk about Baal, and so yeah, God's evolved.
All of them should be talked about like that already because clearly this shit is a myth. It's a
Yeah,
fucking myth.
it
Like it doesn't
is.
even make
It
sense.
is. Interesting. Interesting.
didn't fully embrace monotheism yet. The people remained henotheistic through the era of Judges and the Kingdom of Israel. The kingdom split following Solomon's death in 1931 BCE, leading to the creation of the southern kingdom of Judah with Jerusalem as its capital. In Judah, worshipping Yahweh was not a religious act, but it was also a part of their identity. Yahweh was seen as their protector. The people of Judah believed they were chosen by Yahweh, which influenced everything from their religious traditions to their political decisions and cultural ways of life. Yahweh was seen as a warrior god, a shield against enemies, a perception that was likely influenced by the tumultuous times Judah lived in. Surrounded by mighty empires and frequently drawn into their disputes, the people of Judah turned to Yahweh for safety and rescue. Their faith in Yahweh's protective power had a direct impact on everything from their military strategies and diplomatic ties to their domestic policies. In Judah, the worship of Yahweh was supported by the state. The kings of Judah, starting with David and Solomon, were seen as the earthly representatives of Yahweh. They were believed to have been chosen by Yahweh to lead his people, which gave them both political and religious power. They were the protectors of faith, charged with keeping its practices pure and upholding its principles. However, the relationship between Yahweh and the kings of Judah wasn't always smooth. There were times when kings, motivated by political gain or personal ambition, strayed from the faith. They brought in foreign gods, allowed blended practices in Yahweh's worship, and persecuted the prophets who dared to criticize them. These actions were seen as betrayals of Yahweh that deserved divine punishment. During these periods of religious change, prophets emerged as the moral compass of Judah. They were seen as the voice of Yahweh, guiding the people back to their God. They spoke out against idol worship, condemned injustices in society, and warned about the severe consequences of abandoning Yahweh. Their messages were not always well received, but they were crucial. They were the guiding light, leading the people of Judah back to Yahweh whenever they strayed. But the question
Say
remains,
again.
Why do
Reggie,
we, as a collective society, continuously revere this deity?
Yep.
Vessel is backstage. I was wondering why she was quiet all this time.
Sorry, Mister.
I love this image. This the look of this. Is this would this be Ashera? Who is this? And Pandemus says there was a study that says that atheists had higher religious IQ than believers. And I just decided to Google. And yes, there is in fact a study that says atheists are more intelligent than religious people. They've done a study that says, interesting. I mean, come on. Wow.
I'm sorry, that looks like a Japanese samurai warrior.
I love the look of that image. I wish I could get that picture. I love it.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
can hear you.
Don't you think that looks like a Japanese samurai warrior?
Deity born
Mm,
Yeah, by the
mm,
way his hair looks, yeah. Back in the bun.
yes,
But it
okay, the
also
bun,
looked like
yes, but I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's got all these different vibes to
looked
me.
like
But I just love the look of it.
he got dreads in his beard and shit.
NJ, I too am not keen on gold. Oh, Pandema says that is L. Oh, right. This is L. Oh, big one. The big, I mean, between L and Yahweh, I mean, L, I mean, if L existed, that would be the one to be afraid of. Mm-mm. Yahweh, don't scare me. Mm-mm.
From my understanding, that's his dad anyway.
Yeah, right?
from the pages of history as the one true God. What compels us to give thanks, beseech blessings, and croon praises to this entity? Might our fascination with the divine reflect a deeper urge to explore our own complexities and unravel the mysteries of divine identities concealed within sacred texts? Could it be that our minds are drawing us an intriguing maze of cosmic knowledge and self-discovery? It's as thought we're cracking open an ancient vault, decoding whispers of divine echoes that have resonated through time and space. Could this adventure not only reveal the secrets of the Anunnaki and ancient aliens, but also illuminate our understanding of ourselves and our place in the cosmos?
Here's the big secret about women. We want
I
you
don't know.
to flirt with us.
He
We
just
even want
he
Reggie,
just lost me with that.
is that part of the video?
I think this is a commercial.
Uh, NJ is asking, do you need a nap, sir? Because you've been yawning.
Say
He
that again.
stays up. NJ was asking, NJ's comment in the chat, do you need a nap? He stays up too late on TikTok having those debates with people.
Yeah, I was up for a while last night.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed up so late to the point where you went to bed and woke up. So last night was kind of rough. It was all right though. There was some good conversations going on. So
Is that the end of the video?
uh uh
Vessel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Struggling to hear you guys.
Uh-oh. I can hear you.
Deity worldwide happened along two pathways. Firstly, from a human viewpoint, we've been exploring how the shift from polytheism to monotheism in ancient Israel was a slow and complex process spanning several centuries. In the late Bronze Age, numerous deities were linked with powerful cities in a typically polytheistic society. Israel had its national deity Yahweh, but still acknowledged a pantheon of other ancient Eastern state. Over time, Yahweh started assuming a dominant role, slowly transitioning towards monotheism, a path marked by social, political, and cultural alterations over time. Secondly, the theological transition of Yahweh to the sole deity represents the perspective of the divine entities themselves. The ancient aliens theory positions these beings as physical entities that visited our ancient past, bringing into question whether Yahweh was a specific entity or a name for a group of individuals. The connection between Yahweh and our channel's primary focus, the Anunnaki, is evident since regions where names of Yahweh, El, Asherah, and other gods emerged are the same regions where the Anunnaki appeared and were revered. Delving further into this analysis, we find striking similarities between some of the renowned Anunnaki entities and the characteristics of Yahweh. Yahweh's journey from a divine warrior to a supreme deity over all others, a creator, a blessing, a salvation provider, a father god is interesting. Observing Anunnaki gods Enki, Enlil, and Ninurta shows intriguing parallels with Yahweh's characteristics, hinting at possible overlaps and transformations. Examining the Mesopotamian god Enlil, the god of weather and war and the father of gods, his narrative has parallels with the biblical accounts involving Yahweh. However, Yahweh's distinctive quality as a warrior doesn't align with Enlil's image. Instead, Enki, the god of knowledge, sciences, and hidden metals, shares a closer alignment with Yahweh's qualities. Enki's wisdom, understanding, and control over gold and silver parallel Yahweh's attributes in the Bible. Another Anunnaki, Ninurta, the god of agriculture, hunting, and war, shares his protective nature and warrior qualities with Yahweh. However, suggesting that Yahweh is merely Enki or Ninurta or any other deity cloaked in biblical Hebrew disguise is oversimplification. It is necessary to study the nuanced relationship and the roles of these deities in the Sumerian and biblical accounts to truly understand their connection and evolution. Consequently, the study of Yahweh's
Um, I think
Enki.
that's typical as well.
Oh, go
I
on.
think that's typical as well about the gold. For some reason, they got a weird obsession with gold as
Yeah.
much as they do with foreskin. So
Reggie, it's not just about foreskin. Think about this. It's not. My opinion is it's very. These religions are highly sexualized. I don't know if it's just about the foreskin, but what it would mean to take off a man's foreskin. Wouldn't that be like a sign of dominance, a sign of because think about it, a god, right? God said to, I think it was to Abraham, go and get all your men, every single one of them, adults, and have them done. That is the height of um no, how do you what's that word? Emasculating? Is that the word? Emasculation. That's it. That is the height of emasculation. Is to have a grown adult, the thing taken off, and all the men all done. I just It's just something that is sickening about this. It's crazy.
I don't know. He likes to collect them a lot, especially even after people are already dead. So I don't know. In a way, I agree.
Hmm.
In a way, I agree with you. That is like total emasculation, but it's just like at the same time, it's like he really wants these shits. Like, let me like, oh, okay, let me get all them dick skins over there. There's too many different situations where he talks about it to me.
But the trouble is, Reggie, if this God does not exist, you realize that some people are using the idea of his existence to manipulate people. They're saying this is what God wants. Nobody has seen God. No one has seen El or Yahweh or what. No one's seen any of this. But somehow we know what Yahweh wants. We know that Yahweh wants foreskins taken off. it's men trying to manipulate other men, right? Set of humans, they've found a way to completely get into the psyche of their fellow men. And so, yeah, let's use the God. Let's use the belief in the God. It's sickening. It's sickening.
Absolutely. And
So
finishes with
Gerwald says he could see it as a sacrifice. Remember, he asked the 100 to for 100. The general brought back 200. And she was like, it's a sacrifice to a god. Okay, okay.
Yahweh's transition from being a deity among many to becoming a singularly revered god involves understanding both to the human-driven socio-cultural political shifts and theological changes from the god's perspective. It's a complex, an intriguing study that broadens our understanding of the Anunnaki and ancient aliens theory, providing new perspectives on the development of our civilization. However, it's important to note that Ninurta was not regarded as deity in hiding by the earlier Sumerians, and depictions of him were not uncommon. Yet, as we delve further into the Yahweh-Ninurta connection, we find a substantial ancient text that shines a light on a significant event, challenging the idea that Ninurta and Yahweh are one and the same. The specific text concerns a remarkable and unforgettable occurrence, the specific details of which suggest that Ninurta could not have been Yahweh. One of the most pivotal acts attributed to Yahweh in the Bible, with lasting consequences and enduring memories, is the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. The event is also chronicled in Mesopotamian texts, allowing for a comparison of the deities involved. In Genesis 19, Sodom and Gomorrah cities, located in the lush plains south of the Salt Sea, are depicted as sinful. Yahweh descends from his dwelling and, accompanied by two angels, visit Abram and his wife Sarai near Hebron. After foretelling that the elderly couple will have a son, Yahweh sends the two angels to Sodom to evaluate the city's sinfulness. Yahweh then informs Abram that if their sins are confirmed, the cities and their inhabitants will be destroyed. Abram implores Yahweh to spare Sodom if at least 50 righteous people are found within its walls. Yahweh agrees to this plea after Abram successfully negotiates the number down to 10 and departs. The angels, having witnessed the city's wickedness, urge Lot to take his family and escape. Lot asks permission to seek refuge in the mountains, and the angels consent, postponing the impending destruction. Eventually, the doomed fate of the cities is triggered as Yahweh rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah so furious fire from the skies, and he upheld those cities and the entire plain and all its inhabitants and all that which grew on the ground. And Abraham went early in the morning to the place where had stood.
Did you say something, Afro?
No, no, I didn't. I didn't.
Before Yahweh, and looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah, towards the land of the plain, and he saw smoke rising from the earth like the smoke of a furnace. In the Mesopotamian records, this very event is proudly documented as the climax of Marduk's battle to establish dominance on earth. The Mesopotamian text explicitly attributes the upheaval of the sinful cities of Nergal, not Ninurta. Given that the Bible asserts that it was Yahweh himself who unleashed the destruction on the cities, rather than the two investigating angels, it becomes apparent that Yahweh cannot be equated with Ninurta. In his book Divine Encounters, Zechariah Sitchin grapples with the enigma shrouding the identity of Yahweh. He draws a remarkable conclusion. The idea from the Bible that the Elohim, the gods or the Anunnaki, had a god of their own might seem utterly absurd initially, but upon deeper reflection, it seems to make a lot of sense. This leads us to pose a critical question. If the Nephilim were the gods who created man on Earth, was it just evolution on the 12th planet that gave rise to the Nephilim? These technologically advanced beings capable of space travel hundreds of thousands of years before us and deriving cosmological explanations for the solar system's creation, must have also questioned their origins. This could have led them to what we define as religion, their concept of God, where according to Sitchin, Yahweh isn't an Anunnaki but rather a divine being that even the Anunnaki revered. Now, returning to our initial questions, we've probed the contrasting viewpoints about Yahweh's identity, the human historical perspective, and the God's own viewpoint. This intricate tapestry of perspectives underscores the topic's complexity as well as its interconnectedness. The imposing nature of the Anunnaki topic and the potential of the ancient aliens theory to rock the world's religious perceptions becomes clear. Mainstream religions often fail to inspire a deep, intimate connection with the divinity that is in all things. They tend to project God as a distant, judgmental entity who, despite his proclaimed love for us, keeps tabs on our actions. But in our view, our true spiritual quest leads us inward. It invites us to explore the divine within us when we truly connect with our essence. And an authentic religion is our own inner self linked with everything. As for Yahweh, well, Yahweh, along with the other gods, deserves due respect for their roles in history. They've shaped our civilization, culture, bodies, and life itself. And that's all there is. We bow before you and thank you for watching another episode of Secret Origins. Keep your minds open, and until
I disagree with his last point.
I disagree too. When you say about shaping, no, no, these gods do not deserve respect. But
At
yes,
all.
we can talk about them. We can, you know, do studies on how they have impacted on our world. But respect, no.
No, no. I can't respect something that's not real, and I can't respect something that commits genocide. It doesn't make any sense. None of that shit make
No.
any sense. It seems like the more I learn about Yahweh and the more I learn about the pantheon, or the show's title, it's like the dumber I get.
The dumber you get. I
It is.
think, listen, for me, it's like, okay, how did we, right? So now, when I say a Christian, an African Christian, African, so you had your Orishas, your, what do you call them now? Shango, Olodumare, and all this. Now, someone comes along with their own myth, they come along with their own pantheon and tell you that Yahweh is better than your Orisha. Yahweh is better than your Amadioha. Can you not see that someone has given, it was their reality. Someone just, I don't know, I just cannot. And it is crazy to me to see Christians wanting to teach Jews about their religion. They want to tell them what is and what isn't. They want to say, oh no, that's not how it should be. This is what I mean. Just I think of Paul. I think of, like the New Testament. This was really a case of changing the narrative. It was a case of, okay, we want to be the outliers. We want to be just no. Not for me.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't make any sense. None of it. I'm glad that I got me some new material because I can't wait till somebody says Yahweh again, so I can just go off on them. Like that's not even how you say his name, Yahweh.
Yahweh. Yahweh. So now we're supposed to call him what was the other one name? That Hashem. Hashem. Oh well. Hashem. And
He,
this is the thing. When someone says, I find it offensive that you call his name. I don't believe in the existence of him. So when I do call that name, to me, I'm not referring to a god up there. I'm just talking about the myths and the fictional stories that I'm looking at. It's nothing to do with any big daddy god up there. No.
Yeah.
Uh, where's is she backstage?
No, I think she's here.
I'm here.
Okay, you say something.
Right.
Oh, I think
I
Yahweh's
just find it
Yahweh
really
Yahweh
interesting.
Yahweh
Sorry,
Yahweh's got
African.
her. Yahweh's got you.
He hasn't got me.
He did. It looks like he's grabbed you.
No, I just find it, with the Anunnaki, that it's he's got a connection to the Anunnaki and all of that. So I
Mm,
want to look into that a bit more because I do hear people bringing it up on the live
mm,
streams,
yeah, yeah.
and I don't have an answer for them. So I'd like to look into that a bit more. However, isn't it amazing how Christianity has just crumbled into
Mm,
teeny tiny bits
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
from what we thought it was to what we now know
mm,
about the so-called God, all loving, omnipresent, omni, omni this and that.
It's
Like
omni non-existent.
it's
mhm,
completely
omni
ridiculous to
shit,
believe
like
any of
as I
this.
like to say, omni shit.
Omniscient. Uh, Come on, Reggie.
It's completely ridiculous to believe any of this shit. It has no basis. It has no proof. It has no truth to it, and it does not make any fucking sense.
Wait,
None
what
of it.
happened? Have you got an echo?
I don't know.
Go on.
No, that's it. It's just craziness. Like I said a few moments ago, the more I learn about this shit, the dumber I get because it does not make any sense, and it makes me think to myself like, why the fuck do does any human being really believe any of this shit?
Mm,
Why?
exactly. Seeing how they have evolved over a long period of time. And that person asked the good question then. How do you know that you haven't got someone else's God?
That's it.
How do you know you haven't got someone else's? Hey, Miss Misani. Yeah, Get Work says, like the Muslims telling Christians about Christianity. Yeah, telling them, oh, you worship a man. You worship a man and not God. But then again, listen, with Muslims, if you offend them, if you say something bad about Allah, they can easily forgive you. But say something bad about their prophet, oh, hmm, and yet they're not worshiping a man. Hmm.
It's all craziness. It's all craziness. So what y'all got planned for the rest of the day?
We've got godless dating tonight.
What time?
Yes. Now I should somehow, I might come live here as well just to announce. We'll have to work out somehow because we need to try and merge people. So guys, we did Godless Dating last year, and we streamed it here as well on YouTube. So it's about just bringing people who are. If you're looking for someone who is godless, if you are godless, not just godless, but if you're atheist, agnostic, questioning, deconstructing, whatever, as long as you are not a God fearing person, that's the only criteria that I have is if you are God fearing, don't bother. So it's a case of bringing people together and seeing how we can make connections, not just any kind of connections, but love connections. If that's the thing, do you guys believe in love? Reggie and Vessel, do you believe in love?
It depends on how you're asking. Are you saying that? Are you asking me? Do I believe that a person can love another person, or are you asking me? Do I
As in,
believe in love forever? Everybody gets married, live happy ever after, and all that. Are you asking me that?
when people say "I love you," I don't know. Sometimes I have to stop and say, "Okay, what do you mean when you say love?" I mean, what is that? I feel like if someone says to me they love me, you have to define that to me. You have to tell me exactly what that means. And because I've been thinking about that recently, now I find it very offensive when someone says Jesus loves me, because I feel like, why why would I need his love? I didn't ask for it. So why are you going to give me his love? That
He died for your
is
sins.
no. She just lied. Who lied?
No, I'm just posting stuff that never.
From oh, that
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yes, yeah, well, we can be killed in some countries. Yes. Oh, Deborah Samuels, the one that was killed. Reggie, do you know about Deborah Samuel?
Uh-uh.
Oh, Nigerian girl that was killed just brutally by her Muslim schoolmates. They were in the same school and they had the WhatsApp group that she was part of. And the teachers would use it to send them homework. And, that's what the WhatsApp group was for. And the Muslims in the group now started putting their Muslim resources in there. And she said, no, this is a place for our school, our academics. And so please don't put um, this in here. Well, she must have said something. I think she must have said, recorded, and whatever she said, the Muslim people got offended and said that was blasphemy. They came for her. They tried, the people that tried to protect her, no, 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 but they know they grabbed her. I think she was only 22. They grabbed her, they took her outside, stoned her. After stoning her, they set her ablaze. It's ridiculous.
Afro, how can that be considered blasphemy when she's not part of that religion?
There,
She is
the
not part of their religion.
That's in Nigeria, right?
yes, this happened in Nigeria.
This was all
Yeah.
because of the fact that she was a woman trying to tell males what to do and her not being one of
Yeah,
them.
they found it disrespectful to their
How dare
faith
this
and to
female tell us this?
her.
She's even as a kuffar. Why is she telling us this? That's how they saw it.
Mm-mm. It's crazy. And the worst part is that two people were arrested. Now, when they committed that act, they recorded themselves. Right? One had is the match. Yeah, this is the match I used to set up. Please, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Right? They were
Idiots.
very yeah, the videos are still online. You can see this one's I did it, I did. Now, two people were arrested, and all the Muslims they came out. No, they should not be arrested. They should be released. 40 lawyers, 40 came out and
Mm-mm.
said we're prepared to fight for them pro bono. I don't know what has happened to the case now, because the people were released. The two that were put in jail, they were released. Her parents, they said, we leave it in the hands of God. We're not prepared to pursue. We're not prepared to pursue this. So we leave it in the hands of God.
Just another friendly reminder. I will never, ever, ever step foot in the country of Nigeria. I don't care what the
Why
circumstance
not,
is.
Reggie? If I
Reggie,
invite you, can
Nigeria is
you
safe.
not
It is
come?
safe. You just need to
He's
know where to
safe,
go.
Reggie.
You just need to know if you're gonna go in. If you're gonna go up into the
Reggie.
north where this is happening, then you will get caught up if you offend them. But
Mm-hmm,
otherwise, the rest of
mm-hmm.
the country is fine.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's illegal to blasphemy is illegal. Period. I don't believe in Christians or Muslims, so no matter where I go, I'm fucked. Hell no, I ain't never going to Nigeria. Hell no.
So for a price, name your price. Name your price, Reggie.
Mm-mm. Never,
No,
never. I'm gonna get locked up.
Locked up.
you wouldn't, Reggie. I think you would. I don't know. As you depend on what part. You'll be all right. You will be all right. But I wouldn't recommend going there for more than 2 weeks. That would not be my recommendation. 'Cause let me tell you, it's a money drain. Money drain. Money. Yeah,
I go
money
to every
drain.
neighboring country around. I swear I would. I would go to every country around Nigeria. I would even go to Niger. I would go there. I go there. I go Sierra Leone. I go to Ghana. I'm not going to Nigeria. Never. Ever, 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 ever,
Have you
ever,
you've done
ever.
your DNA ancestry, your ancestry?
Mm-mm. But I could I'm pretty sure it's about a 90%
What if
chance
what if
I'm
what
going
if
to be
your
Nigerian.
ancestry links you to Nigeria,
It's
Reggie?
it's going to,
Yoruba boy.
yeah, it's
Hey,
going to.
Omo
You already know that.
Yoruba.
Yoruba. Oh no, might be an Igbo boy, maybe
It's going to.
Hey.
an Igbo boy. Ah,
So I don't have a issue with people that are Nigerian. Obviously, I don't like the rules there. They don't suit me. You know.
absolutely. I mean, it's your that's your choice. That's your decision, and that's perfectly okay. I, for one, am half Nigerian, and it would take a miracle to get me to. Okay, don't let me say that. Don't let me say that because you never know. I've been invited for an event later this year, but I don't think I'm going. No, I can't make it. No, it's a group of atheists. They're
Y'all
not
crazy,
atheists, agnostics.
Nah,
What's his name?
Afro, don't go.
right?
No,
Don't go,
not.
Afro.
I'm not going. No.
That's a
No,
setup.
not
That's an easy
Nigeria.
setup. That's an easy setup to get you locked up. You know it.
Not Nigeria. No. No, no, no. For that, no. If you're just going on holiday, then yeah. But not for that.
Hmm.
But I absolutely want to go to Africa. I've always wanted to travel to Africa. The only reason why I would not go to Nigeria is because of their blasphemy laws. It's just not going to suit me. I am an atheist,
Where?
and
Where?
Niger-
What part? But
Nigeria.
but all of Nigeria doesn't have blasphemy. Well, okay, there is blasphemy laws in the constitution, but it is not enforced. It's not enforced. It's only in the north where you've got the Muslims. That's where that's enforced. Listen,
Mm-mm.
over there it's a different. But down south, no, you be just fine. The Christians don't really bother too much with the blasphemy laws against their God. Yeah. So let's see. Miss Misani never had an interest in traveling to Africa. Right, Miss Misani? Oh wow. Pandemus, you're Igbo. Pandemus, you're Igbo? One name. Oh wow.
I definitely want to go, but I just can't do the Nigeria. I can't. Mm-mm.
Listen, when you go there, it would be an eye opener. It would make you see a different side of life. You listen. I took my two sons to Nigeria in 2017 for 1 month, and both of them say they never want to go back.
Why? Oh my goodness.
So anyway, my older one now says maybe in the future, because him and his cousins, they they're starting to form this bond, and they've got a WhatsApp group. They meet up from time to time, you know, and they're thinking maybe in the future they could go just as grown young people go to Nigeria and go and see what happens. So he was saying to me, maybe that might give him a different outlook. So maybe might do, but from that experience in 2017, both of them. Sometimes I would tease them like, okay, next holiday we are going to Nigeria. Mom, no, no.
But why? What
We got
happened?
It's a long story. It's a long story. Don't forget, I was still with my ex at the time,
All
and this
right.
was when we went back to go and do the traditional wedding, and we
Okay.
stayed for the most part stayed at his family with his
Home.
family. Just the
Hmm.
roads, the food. We had no electricity for over 1 week or maybe more. So we were depending on the generators. There was something called the inverter. And can you imagine just having no electricity at all? It was so bad. And then there were other things that went on too, which of course are personal.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not making it no more interesting for me to go at all. I'm not never fucking going. No, no, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'm
Reggie's
s-
not going.
I'm scared.
Well,
Scared of
I've been
what?
to Ghana.
I would
I've
love to
been
go to
to,
Ghana.
yeah, Ghana's beautiful. I've been to Ghana. I've been to Senegal.
Mm,
Lovely, beautiful countries.
okay. Yeah. Ghana would be my top of my list. My neighbor, my neighbor and her group of friends. Sorry, did you say something?
No,
Oh, my neighbor and her group of friends, they travel to Ghana every year. She was asking me, do I want to come along? I'm like, okay, yeah, why not? So I have to message her and see what
You should
the plans are.
you should go. I want to go. I definitely want to go to Ghana, for sure.
It's only next door, Reggie. Nigeria, just next door.
I
Just
know. I know that. I'm just not gonna go to Nigeria. I'll go right
Miss
to the border and
Pisani.
say hi,
Miss
but I'm
Pisani
not
says,
stepping
yes, stayed my
inside.
ass in the US. Pandemic. Yes, ma'am. Born in the West, though. When you say born in the West, is that were you born over there? I'm not sure what you mean born in the West. Are your parents Igbo and then you were born in the US? Esther, you had your kids entertaining themselves with their minds and shadows at night. I'm calling child services. What do you mean I had my kids entertaining them with themselves with their minds and shadows? No electricity. Oh, it was terrible, and the weather was hot as well. So, it was. Mm. I tell you, going out, the boys wouldn't want to go out. They said no. We would say, "Come on, we need to go out," because the roads were so bad. There was one night we went out, and we we came back. The car was damaged just from driving on the roads. The puddles. Oh, it was so bad. Oh, so someone said, okay, maybe because of the place where you stayed, maybe if you lived in like the rich where the rich people are from, that's where there's some really decent parts over there. There's some beautiful parts of Nigeria. But man, you have to pay an arm and a leg to live in those parts. Hmm. What are you doing for the rest of the day, Reggie?
Man, I gotta make a run and probably
Okay,
cook.
okay.
Probably go on TikTok.
Okay. Right, guys. Um, so we'll see. I might come back later on. So, but yeah, we have this godless dating thing going on. So I might stream onto YouTube as well. I apologize. Sometimes this streaming onto YouTube is hard to keep up with the TikTok space and the YouTube space. So yeah, it's but never mind. We'll do it somehow. We do it somehow. Right. And Vessel, what are you doing for the rest of your day?
Getting ready for godless dating.
She's ready. She's ready. Someone has already said to me that they're looking for a partner. A gentleman has said they're looking for a partner. I said, okay, come along. Come along.
Yes.
But right now, I'm going to just lay down on the bed and just get a nap. I shouldn't, but I would.
Are you
I think it
coming up with?
was
Do you think it's going to be a couple of hours before you come
yes,
back on?
yes. Because I
All
went to
right.
the gym, right? So the gym has knocked me out.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Anyway,
We was which live stream are we on? It was Reggie's live stream last night, wasn't it, Reggie? And the guy was asking what God do you believe in, and I was like, the Holy Mandingo.
yeah.
And Rev said the same as well. And the guy was like, it just unnerved them.
It was another
and
guy
then
that came on after y'all went to sleep, and he had a similar guy. It was called. His name was Fred. It was something like that though. How y'all be saying that? It was a long story. I forget what he called himself, a unicornist or some shit like that. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
and the unicorn name was Fred. And I guess they were saying that you could stroke his horn or some shit. I don't fucking know. It was
what
crazy.
the
What?
hell?
Yeah, I wasn't with it.
Ew.
Reggie,
But
you need to take a nap.
uh, I can't. Well,
No.
I guess if I take a nap right now, I'm gonna wake up probably like around 4 or 5 o'clock, and then I'm definitely gonna be up super late. So
Oh,
I got to get some stuff done today while I can.
What time is it now?
Here is 1:40.
Oh, okay. We still have an early day. It's
Mm-hmm.
nearly 7 p.m. our time here.
Yep, I still got
So,
got a few hours left to do some things. So
hmm.
I thank y'all for stopping by. I'll be back next week for sure. During the week, I may do the product of the '80s podcast, and I'm definitely gonna do my sports podcast, AAA Sports Wednesdays at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, depending on what everybody else got going on. Um, Hopefully, I'll be back here with Afro later or tomorrow.
okay. Are you not good? What, you gonna join us for Godless Dating?
I might stop by.
Might
What
find
time
you
y'all
a
start?
date, Reggie.
You
What
never
time y'all?
know.
What time
Find
y'all?
you a date.
What time y'all
Hmm?
start?
I honestly do not know. It depends. Listen, I'm gonna try and see if I can just get some rest, and then yeah, let's say another 2 hours, maybe
Okay. Well,
hour and a half, 2 hours.
I'll definitely stop by check that out.
What, you're not
Cool.
looking for a date, Reggie?
I'm looking for some money right now.
Okay, okay,
I got
all
a
right.
I got a one track mind.
Okay, Reggie.
He got money on his mind.
Yeah, that's later for that.
Listen, when you haven't got money, nothing else matters.
No, I
Nothing
don't.
else.
No, I don't.
Nothing else.
Well,
Mm-mm.
thank y'all again for coming. I'll be back next week, same time, same channel. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for having us. Bye bye.
Definitely. You're welcome.